Hey, so we are rounding out April. It is just about the end, and I'll tell you, things are really looking pretty good back here in the Palangeau Park and all. And so this week, we're going to look at a couple of different things. We're going to look at just how things are growing in the back, and then we're going to look at the front. Haven't talked a lot about the front, but we do have quite a bit of action going on in the front. We have quite a bit that needs to be maintained and gardened in the front of the house too. So, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot really that we need to cover. So I'll show you what I've been doing this week and show you what's going on with those birds, man. I'm telling you, the birds, they're everywhere. As we zoom in closer here, we can see there are quite a few birds. Nobody in the hummingbird feeder quite yet, but several down below that are enjoying whatever it is that they can get out of what has been left over. Sometimes that feeder goes empty very, very quickly, and the birds just sort of fly around in the trees waiting for me to fill it up. This guy, he's going in there, and there is nothing in there, and his buddy is also on the ground looking for whatever's been left over. Okay, so that didn't really happen in our yard. That was Alfred Hitchcock's genius film, The Birds. But as I say, these birds, in several different species, they like this cardinal. They turn up at all hours of the day looking for new food, anything that's on the ground, and they wait. They wait in these trees for their opportunity to come on down. Of course, in the Palangeau Park, we also get a number of other animals, such as the rabbits, who at this point are only enjoying eating the stuff that I'm not purposely trying to grow, just some of the generic growth. But this one brought a friend one day this week, and they're hanging out with some of the recent growth, which I will get into here. But they're amongst all the birds and the squirrel that is also underneath the bird feeder waiting for droppings. So, taking a look at some of the growth, we've got this great hosta. We've got some primrose that is beginning its growth. We've got the hyacinth, and we've got right behind that, we've got the colt's foot, which I've talked about before, all just growing really, really well right now. Over here, the daffodils are almost at their end, and there's some daylilies coming up behind them. Here by the back window, we've got some hostas that are on their way up. And actually, where the daffodils will be ending their lives for this year, more hostas are coming up. The Siberian bugloss, one lone tulip in this section here, but let's see what Frank is up to.
Transplanting my tomato plants using the original organic raised bed garden soil from the seedlings.
Nice.
Into here. Because the secondary leaves started coming out. You first get these two. Once the secondary leaves come out, they say you can then transplant them. I've got them all marked. I don't know what these are called, but our neighbor Matt works at the sanitation plant in Wheaton, and they grow the most amazing tomatoes. So I took some of their seeds, some of the tomatoes I got, I took the seeds out, and when you plant them, you plant 2 at a time in each, but I only want 11 plants that go in there. So I have to split some of them up. I'm going to leave the other ones in here in case some don't take. Make a little hole in there. And see, this one has 2, but I'm only taking 1. If I screw it up, I've got another one in there. I don't know if they're seem to be kind of joined. I don't want them joined. I want them separate but equal.
And these will eventually be going here. And this week I've noticed in the back of the Palangeau Park lots of buckthorn that continues to grow and take over, but we're going to deal with that more in coming weeks. Instead, let's take a look at the front of the house. So this is going down our driveway, and it gives you a pretty good sense. This is the other part of our acre and a half, as you can see. And I got a little surprise coming towards the end because I'll show you what this looked like about 20 years ago. In the meantime, we just had a bunch of mulch put in this week, and this area here, you know, we've got some honeysuckle, we've got some columbine, we've got some tall grass that will eventually be coming up, a couple of yucca plants. Probably one of the nicest things that we have actually in the front of the house is this great redbud. And it's really quite beautiful for its period of time. We had a couple smaller ones behind it, but those are now gone because they weren't really catching on very well. But the columbine up on the left there, and beyond all of this, we have a wide area of grass, which when we first moved in, we had a volleyball court in there, but doesn't get a whole lot of use. And then, of course, you can see all kinds of strange growth. I don't know what this purple flower is yet. I'll investigate that for next week. And this is the side of the house, which also needs to be maintained. But let's take care of the deck first. Now, I'm a little annoyed because I've got a bunch of daylilies in here that seem to be trampled on. I'm not quite sure who did that, but they should spring back to life. And on the other side of this deck walkway, we've got some boards that are kind of covering up holes, and so I plant some somewhat tall grasses in there every year. This particular section was recently cleaned up. I'm going to plant some things in there, and same with this side next to the trampled daylilies. Also, I think it's worth pointing out, we've got an area here that it's always been very difficult for us to figure out what to do with. We've tried a lot of different things, as you'll see what it used to look like. But right now I've got a number of those great Siberian buglos along the side, and we'll get some more of those. And then we've also got this lovely little fountain, which I think is time for a new one. So I think it's time to head over to my favorite place, one of them, the Home Depot. Every time I go to the Home Depot, I end up spending a lot of money, a couple $100. And, well, here's a bunch of interesting plants that I thought would look great in the Palangeau Park. All right, so as I am in the process of trying to do some new things with the front of the house, adding some plants here and there, we're going to start it today. It's a beautiful day, and time to do a little bit of digging and planting. So I love this thing. I got this a few years ago, and it's great because you could like kneel on the top or sit on it, or you could turn it upside down, and you could also kneel on the bottom. So that's how I'm going to start, I think, with what I'm going to do first with this first plant.
All right, so now what I've done is I've added essentially just 2 of these things. But what's great about it is that they are beginning to create a nice little border here. Okay, so now over here, where I am going to be planting some of this tall grass, what I usually do with most plants is I usually put them kind of like in the spot where I would want them to be, and then I start digging. Now, sometimes I'll start digging and discover that there's a lot of rock there, and then I end up having to like move everything. But for now, I think this is the likely spot for these 4 that I'm adding here because, well, that's where we've had some before, so let's see how it goes. Those look pretty good. They're in. I purposely did not get some for the entire length here because these are perennials and there are some that are coming back from last year. So hopefully this is going to fill it in a little bit more. All right, so the front is starting to come along. You know, it's looking okay from where it was a few days ago. Doing a little bit of work down in through here. You see there's more and more color that is coming up. And I think it's gonna look nice in the coming weeks.
I should also point out there's a row of hostas that I planted a year or 2 ago, which will also line up this area parallel to the Siberian buglos along the driveway. But the house looks great compared to what it used to look like many years ago. Yeah, that is the same location. Lots of buckthorn, crooked fence. I think it looks much better today, don't you?